Hello, Dorset Coast Forum. I'm Sally King, Visitor Tourism and Access Manager for Dorset Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. And I'm going to talk to you today about visitor management in a protected landscape during a global pandemic. But first of all, a quick look at some of the challenges from summer 2020, last summer. Well, our beaches certainly didn't look like this post-lockdown. Most on-the-ground staff, for example, rangers, were furloughed last summer. There was a lack of any clear government guidance post-lockdown and a heatwave throughout most of the summer, with a large proportion of the population on furlough, twiddling their thumbs and longing to get out to beauty spots like this one. There's a very different visitor demographic, with visitors who are seemingly quite unfamiliar with the natural environment and had little concept of things like the Countryside Code. And car parks initially were closed, which led to dangerous and inappropriate parking, and there was also a lack of open facilities such as toilets. All of which led to scenes like this, which I'm sure you're familiar with from the media coverage last summer. Tombstoning off Durdle Door and emergency services having to land on an incredibly crowded beach. Loads of people heading down to Durdle Door with absolutely no social distancing. Literally tons of litter left on the beaches every day. Graffiti on the chalk cliffs, and the devastating forest fires, including the Wareham forest fire, which was probably the worst one. All of which led to some really negative publicity. So our visitors last summer came mainly from London and the South East, as well as the Midlands. And we spent the autumn and the winter reflecting and thinking forward, ready to this summer. And we realised that balancing the needs of the environment, the economy, communities and visitors has probably never been more challenging, certainly not in my career anyway. So to address the issues, back in March, the AONB convened a large stakeholder group, which included landowners and all organisations and partners involved in visitor management. I'm sure many of you in the room or on the screen would have been involved in that meeting. And that group has been actively involved in developing the summer visitor campaign, which I'll be going on to talk to you about in a lot more detail later on. There's also a Dorset Council Operations Group, which meets weekly, and then the subgroup, which is leading on the Summer Behavioural Change campaign, which includes myself from Dorset AONB, Dorset Council Comms and Visit Dorset. And that project has been funded by central government. So while we wait for the campaign to be finalised, like most destinations in this country, we've been running with the Respect, Protect, Enjoy hashtag. So for the campaign, we've appointed a creative agency to develop the project, and it's based around a Promise to Love Dorset concept and 5 visitor promises. We're going for a really positive do approach. We think that people have really had enough of being told what not to do. So the 5 promises are based around: do take care on our roads, do be aware of coastal dangers and promise to stay away from the cliffs, do respect our environment, promise not to have fires or barbecues, do take your litter home, and do be considerate of residents, and promise to check where you can park or camp. So the first stage of the campaign is based around a static display material, focused around the 5 key promises, as well as a generic one, which is the one that you can see here, and I'll run through them for you. But before I do that, just to say that this stage of the project has already had a soft launch. We launched before the Maybank holiday, and if anyone watching this is interested in sharing any of this material or using any of this material, then please do get in touch with us or go to the Visit Dorset website, where you can find all the assets free to download. So do enjoy our epic coastline and promise to watch out for tides, currents and cliff edges. Do enjoy taking in our scenery, but drive carefully on our country roads. Do enjoy sharing wonderful places, check where to park and camp. Do enjoy our unique habitats, they're no place for barbecues or fires. And do enjoy our beaches and countryside. Throw litter in bins or take it home. I just realised my image is covering the slogan at the bottom there, but it says, do enjoy our wonderful county, promise to love Dorset. So the static display material will be used in locations such as supermarkets, as well as service stations en route to Dorset. And there'll also be a promise poster, which can be used by town, parish councils, local businesses, holiday parks, as well as cafes and shops and so on. So the second part of the campaign is the video approach, and a set of 5 videos will be produced, which will reflect the 5 promises. These will also be hosted on the Visit Dorset website, so free to download for all partners who've been involved in the development of them. The feel and the tone of the videos is very upbeat and energized and positive, and reflecting the visitors' enthusiasm at coming back to Dorset and the community's, hopefully, welcoming their return. They're short, punchy and impactful, but will still carry the necessary important messaging. And the voiceover used will be a regional Dorset accent, although not too extreme, but it'll be identifiable as Dorset. And the voiceover will reflect the core demographic of the new visitors that we saw last summer and who we're trying to appeal to with the campaign, so 25 to 45-year-olds. And the narratives will again use the do approach, so really outlining the positive things that people can do and ways they can behave that will help them to have a great holiday, but also to keep Dorset special. And the scripts, I'm not going to read this out, and I don't expect you to, but you can see that they're based on the 5 promises. Hopefully this will work. I just want to play this really short, quick video for you. It's just a taster, really, of the type of thing that we're talking about. And in terms of marketing, there'll be a mixture of marketing approaches, from online, social media, to a variety of locations such as pubs, shops, service stations, and so on. And the budget for all of this, so the development of the creative approach and all the marketing behind it, has come from a central government COVID recovery fund. And I also just wanted to mention Dorset Council's operational plans, which came into place for the first Maybank holiday or even Easter, and will remain in place throughout the entire summer season. So more civil enforcement officers, for example, parking wardens, more towaway areas, additional bins and waste collection, additional temporary signage at beauty spots where it's really necessary. Ambassadors are being recruited, and temporary PSPOs on beaches to deter wild campers is a possibility. Wild camping was a very serious issue last summer. And also working with farmers to open up additional camping and parking areas if necessary. That can raise its own issues. And of course, we also want to monitor and evaluate the impact of the behavioural change project. So we've been working with behavioural research consultants based at Winchester University, and we've applied to the National Geographic COVID-19 Science Fund. We've got through to the final stage and actually just recently submitted the final application. So it's a relatively small sum of money, $37,000, to monitor and evaluate the impact of the work, and also to assess the ecological and environmental impacts of visitor behaviour during and since COVID. So we're looking at, because of the smallish sum of money, we're looking at pilot projects at Lulworth, Durdledore, Sutherland and Old Harry Rocks, and those pilot areas were chosen as places where we can relatively easily and quickly access baseline data. It's hoped that it might lead to further funding, possibly lottery, and then we could do a longer term analysis of visitor behavioural trends over the next few years, which would be fantastic. So that's it from me. As I've said, please do get in touch if you're interested in sharing any of the material and the assets from the campaign. We would really, really love you to, because the wider we get the messages out there, the more impact they're going to have. I've also mentioned Visit Dorset a few times throughout this presentation, so their website address is visit-dorset.com, and all the material is hosted on that website. But do get in touch if we can help at all. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference and hope to see you in real life soon. Bye.